And welcome back to the Cheeky Crypto Podcast with your host, Joe. And IK has joined me also today. IK, how are you doing, brother?
I'm very good, Joey. I'm very good. How are you, young man?
Yeah, I'm very well on this weekend. I've got an extra day off tomorrow, the added bank holiday as well. So, just going over crypto over this weekend. And yeah, always busy, always getting done what we can.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So on today's show, we're going to be focusing on Elrond. So, many thanks for, new Elrond fans who've joined us and all the regular viewers and listeners also. So really hope you enjoy this one. As ever, if you enjoy the content, go ahead and smash that like. And if you're brand new of us here for the first time, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you'll never miss a show. So let's get into it. Let's take a dive into Elrond, a project that it's a project that I'm really, a big fan of. So Elrond's mission is to be a highly scalable, fast and secure blockchain platform for distributed apps, enterprise use cases, and what they describe as the new internet economy. It's founded back in 2017. The Elrond network aims to provide faster and cost-effective transactions via smart contracts operated by a distributed network of computers. So set up by brothers Benjamin and 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, along with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪. They co-founded the project and developed Elrond to address the issues related to blockchain scalability. They focused on developing a blockchain that is, better than any other blockchain platform that was available, right back then in 2017. And they really were aiming to sort of develop it to be interoperable and highly, a high level of scalability as well. Now, this is essentially how Elrond was conceptualized. Now, as for its capabilities, Elrond network is a truly powerful network. It can process nearly, 10 to 15,000 transactions per second with an average cost of just 1/10 of a cent.
Yeah, I mean, the fee is really good, right? Now, Elrond network believes in true decentralization by using mechanisms such as sharding and the secure proof of stake. The network is designed to compete with major blockchain platforms. Moreover, it's the first ever network where a state, network, and transaction sharding have all been implemented, all three, okay? Before conducting an IEO, the mortar-based platform went for a private funding round and generated around $1.9 million from various angel investors. It's a shame we didn't get in, to be fair. Later, the network went ahead with an IEO and raised 3.25 million and exchanged 25% of the total supply of its EGLD tokens. Now, Elrond, which describes itself as a new internet economy for decentralized applications, it mainly aims to provide hassle-free, fast and cost-effective transactions. Elrond intends to develop its own ecosystem where in its the native token, EGLD, will be the store of value asset. There are three main areas that Elrond attempts to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. One of them, key to Elrond's model is to have, instant and those cost-effective transactions that we've mentioned. As we regularly talk about on the show, in recent times, increasing transaction fees have become, a source of frustration, mainly amongst Ethereum users, as we know. Now, many of them they've had to shell out, hundreds of dollars. It's crazy in mad transaction fees, right? Now, at the same time, you've got, the congested Bitcoin network, and that's led to, users complaining about, slower than average transaction speeds. Elrond tackles both of these problems effectively. It intends to address these issues by providing an efficient and secure platform to carry out those transactions that you needed.
Yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of the L1s out there are labeled as, ETH killers, right, Joey? Now, also important, is tackling minimum energy usage and computation requirements. Again, as we all know, Bitcoin mining requires a huge hardware setup. It's expensive as well, and in return, it requires energy in abundance. Bitcoin is known to be an energy guzzler globally, right? In recent times, many leading experts have continued to criticize Bitcoin for its energy consumption. In fact, some sources claim that Bitcoin's energy consumption is now more than the whole of Argentina consumes, right? It's a lot. it's mind-boggling and scary. Now that's where proof of stake comes into the picture. It evens the playing ground, as a proof of stake mechanism that does not require equipment, worth millions of dollars that I mentioned. Now, instead, it simply relies on staking. Proof of stake offers double benefits, okay? Now, the first is minimum energy consumption, and the second is that it removes a higher barrier to entry, which benefits many people from the ecosystem instead of a select few, right? Now, Elrond uses an improvised version of the proof of stake mechanism, which they call secure proof of stake. It helps Elrond be faster, secure, and fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And, another important feature also covered in Elrond's model, rather, is minimizing a single point of failure. So what's that all about? Well, by combining the decentralized structure with cross-chain interoperability, Elrond reduces the possibility of a single point of failure that may impact the whole system, in the worst cases when things go down. So the network runs on validator nodes split into 4 shards capable of executing, 5,400 transactions per second on each coordinated shard. I appreciate that, that's really technical, but trust me when I say that is a lot. That is fast, okay? Especially when it comes to competitors. Now, when it comes to similarities between the plain old proof of stake and Elrond's secure proof of stake, both rely on the number of staked tokens to select validator nodes for the consensus. The secure proof of stake consensus mechanism is specifically built to choose the nodes who in turn build blocks. They are responsible for completing the overall consensus process, which takes place in some particular shards. As for the selection of validators, Elrond uses randomness to do so. So, it's really clever. This is also all part of, how it stays cryptographic and essentially secure. So, it is essentially solid technology in terms of security in that sense. For the validator rather selection, you've got the secure proof of stake mechanism with its random formula, and that formula is derived from the preceding block. Once the process completes, the block proposer of the current round of consensus then signs it off.
Clever stuff, clever stuff. Now, there is, however, only one block proposing every consensus group. After each and every round, the members of the consensus group are changed. In a consensus group, the block proposer is a validator. Their public key and randomization factors hash is a small list in the group. It is a duty to produce the block rest of the block proposer, whereas other members in the consensus group validate and sign it. Now, the consensus group uses a modified BLS multi-signature scheme consisting of 2 rounds of messaging for block signature.
Yeah, I'm really a fan of anything to do with multi-signature schemes as well. I think again, solid stuff, just add into that security, right? Now, also mentioned, got the random selection of the consensus groups. It's quick. It's important to know that it's quick, and it gets completed with, listen to this, 100 within 100 milliseconds. The randomized process of selecting consensus groups ensures better security in the Elrond network, as any bad elements rather, they'll essentially fail to take any action within 100 milliseconds. The selection of consensus then takes multiple factors into account, including the number of stake tokens and the individual rating score of the validator. So how is essentially that individual rating score of a validator calculated? Well, again, this is where it's clever. The past behavior of the validator plays a crucial role in their individual rating score. It means essentially that a validator having a higher individual rating score has a higher chance of getting selected for the consensus process, which I think, it's really great and really clever idea.
Definitely. Now, barring a few specific instances where the ratings are adjusted right away, the recalculation of individual rating scores always happens at the end of each epoch. The Elrond ecosystem benefits from its unique rating mechanism as it gets a validator, okay, it gets a validator to do their work honestly, and regardless of what may come, they ensure that the nodes keep on operating at the highest efficiency possible.
I mean, we also really, you've got to talk about the solid, the architecture of this project too. So you've got the network structure, as we've mentioned, comprising of, shards, but also something called meta chains and nodes. So going back over shards are the smaller partitions of the Elrond network, if you like, which are essentially used for scaling. Each shard processes only a fraction of transactions simultaneously with other shards. The shards are then responsible for executing accounts, smart contracts, blockchains, etc., which essentially means that they're playing their crucial role within doing the job on scaling.
Now, the next comes the meta chain, which is nothing but a blockchain that runs on a special shard, right? Now, the main aim of this blockchain is not to process the transactions, but to authenticate the process block. Okay. Now, also, it takes care of the communication between the shards, maintains the registry and validators, rewarding and slashing.
And then lastly, of course, there is the nodes, which are integral part of the network. Now, in fact, many nodes, which can be, a smartphone, a computer, a server, they all come together to form this network on Elrond, essentially. Now, among these nodes, some act as validators, while some are just quite simply observers, hence providing different levels of support to the network and earning different amounts or levels of rewards for their work.
Some decent rewards there. Now, let's get on to a bit about the token itself and general tokenomics. Okay. Now, developers and validators can use Elrond to create decentralized applications and use its native token as payment method. The Elrond integrated development environment enables the developers to launch their services on their platform. It also offers a smart contract engine, which makes EVM compliance possible, that enables blockchain interoperability. The platform also encourages developers to create more innovative and cost-effective applications and earn up to 30% of the smart contract fees as royalties. The network also reserves some EGLD tokens, which are staked on the platform for a minimum period of a year and earn an impressive 36% annual rate.
Yeah, I mean, we can even count eGold tokens as a product, essentially, of the Elrond network. After all, the validators need to stake them, to secure the ledger. Now, the Elrond infrastructure also offers a wallet to its users and the block explorer. So Elrond, or eGold, as I mentioned, the coin is the native token of Elrond, and it's used to interact with applications, carry out transactions, and give out rewards or incentives. Initially, the native token was named ERD, ERD coin, but after launching the token on the mainnet, it was renamed as eGold. I prefer the name eGold. I think it's, they already talk about, it being the transaction and money of the internet. So I think eGold, is a really, clever name for Elrond. So later, the network also held a swapping program and enabled the users to swap the old tokens back to the new ones. So that's how anyone who had ERD was then, transferred over to eGold.
Yeah, now Elrond's native cryptocurrency plays a vital role in maintaining the network. You can also use it for sending, rewarding the network contributors, and also running smart contracts. The people who own EGLD tokens are eligible to participate in the voting process for any of the developments on the network. Moreover, they will receive rewards with newly minted tokens that will be proportional to the amount staked. Now, the transaction fees collected are not utilized completely by the network. Instead, a part of the fees collected, 30% to be specific, is sent to the smart contract developers. It is known as a smart contract loyalties. In addition to this, 10% of the fees will be rewarded to the community participants participating in some special events like bounty projects and network development. As for its supply, EGLD has a maximum supply of just over 31 million tokens and a total circulating supply currently over 23 million.
What's also, I think, really key to highlight here as well, that, Elrond, this is really important. I think what's going to get people interested is that it really does fare well amongst the competition. So like many other layer ones and layer zeros out there, Elrond competes primarily against Ethereum, similar, in the ways of, Cardano and Polkadot. Obviously, we mentioned, being one of those ETH killers, they're certainly in that bracket, right? Now, compared to others, it does have, some, key advantages, especially in terms of decentralization. Let's take the likes of 𝗕𝗓 protocol, for instance. Now, it uses a threshold proof of staking mechanism. And the main difference between 𝗕𝗓 and eGold is that, with Elrond, it's far more decentralized, with over 3,200 validators, whereas, the likes of 𝗕𝗓, for instance, has only 100 validators. So only validators are eligible to vote on protocol changes. So with that being the case, you need many, many more validators for it to be, truly decentralized.
No, I agree with that. It only makes sense. Now, Joey, likewise, although Solana boasts an impressive, 50,000 transactions per second, Elrond employs revolutionary technologies to achieve a secure and decentralized network. While Solana is not as decentralized as it claims, it, as we know, has been criticized by crypto enthusiasts, for having fewer than 200 validators. I think that's very unfair. I don't think that's, it shouldn't be done that way. Thus, it faces immense competition from some of the leading platforms in the world of blockchain, like obviously Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, like you mentioned. Yet it has the potential to compete against them, and that too strongly.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, because also, there's multiple features it has that, rival leading blockchain platforms, that many that we've just, previously mentioned. And Elrond's also, got partnerships it's inked with, some of the biggest names in the crypto industry, like Ledger, Poly Network, BitGo, Coinbase Custody. There's huge other partnerships. When we talk about in the last show, go and do your own research. When you're looking into Elrond, go and do research on who they've partnered with. You'll be really impressed. Now, also got the adaptive stake sharding, secured proof of stake. Now, this is called they refer to as the Arwen machine technology, and this enables Elrond to process a high number of transactions. And there's going to be upgrades coming in the future on this that I've certainly looked into, and this really could put Elrond in a league of its own, further down the line. Again, go do your research on it. But like I said, with further developments, the Elrond platform will see an increase in those transactions. But moreover, really, the biggest point with the Elrond platform, I feel, is its strong support for interoperability. I do feel, we've talked about how big interoperability is going to be on the show, multi-chain being the future. I think Elrond's going to be right up there.
Yeah. Now, so that's a dive in technicals of the project. But Joey, what's caught your attention or focus with Elrond recently?
Oh, that's a great question, IK. I mean, I'm just thinking back, and I'm thinking back to, it's recent. It was, only back in June. Firstly, what really impressed me so much with Elrond, and was especially, how specifically the team, right? The team, how they superbly acted and handled communication, with the community when there was the 𝗲𝗂𝗋𝗋𝗋 hack. Like I said, that took place back in early June, that the hack on the 𝗲𝗂𝗋𝗋𝗋. Now, it really was second to none. I personally felt at the time, because we'd seen how, badly, really, really poorly, the likes of like a Harmony, for instance, how they'd acted or communicated when they had been hacked. This at the time, you've got to remember, it was not long after the Terra collapse. And again, we'd seen, disgraceful communication and handling at Terra during the meltdown of Terra Luna. And when there was this 𝗲𝗂𝗋𝗋𝗋 hack on Elrond, rather, this could have been really serious and disastrous for Elrond. But the way they coped, communicated, and recovered, for me personally, like I said, I thought it was second to none. And this is only like the real first time since I've been in crypto that I've actually seen, a hack take place, and the fact that there's been a hack and it actually turned into bullish news. Because for me, it was bullish for Elrond because it showed their absolutely immense resilience and commitment to investors.
No, Joey, I actually agree with that. It was almost like a military operation. The way they dealt with that, the communication, straight onto Twitter, all over, they're all over online. You knew what they were doing, right?
Yeah, it was
So,
especially from 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗓 himself. He was just superb.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually really surprised. To be fair, obviously, we're researching all the time for our community, and the moment I see them communicating, I knew that these guys are serious, right? And the way they did it, I was really impressed. I've seen some of these bigger projects, and they don't even come out, and even there's hardly any communication. So hats off to them, well done, and hopefully they'll keep this transparency up throughout. Now, one thing about Elrond, okay, I've seen that Elrond does have a lot of NFT projects that are popping up, okay? Similar to the likes of 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗓 and Cardano, right? I can definitely see these, eating into the Ethereum NFT dominance for sure, okay? Now, Elrond mobsters in particular seems to be quite a popular one right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a pretty cool project. And I said that there's so much more building on Elrond. So wanted to just wrap this one up with have a look at the price, really, because that's, as always, what a lot of people have got their eyes on, what we're kind of speculating for the future. So we've got here essentially 𝗕𝗚𝗚𝗓 time recording. We're sat here currently around $50, and as we know, previous all-time high that looks absolutely miles away at the moment at $542. Now, admittedly, 𝗕𝗚𝗚𝗓 has been one of the harder hit coins in this bear market, but we know many of these altcoins have been, absolutely smashed off the top right. So there's no doubt that it has been one of the harder hit. But, personally, I'm mildly confident that we could see a steady recovery in the next bull run.
For sure. Now, Joey, the big question, what do you think we'll see that 4-figure EGLD? Do you think it can happen in the next run?
Honestly, and this absolutely honestly, I really do. Yes, I do. I think it's, in that sort of similar position to coins like, Quant or something like that, etc. And, if these projects hold up through the winter that we're in now, no matter how bad this bear market gets, the survivors for me are looking prosperous. And I think it will take a few years. I honestly do think it's going to take a few years, but once that new all-time high is cleared, then the road to $1,000 for me, it looks pretty straightforward from just from a brutally technical perspective. And let's say $2,000, right? It's not crazy, because $2,000, that would essentially put Elrond, around a $60 billion market cap kind of range. Like I said, I don't think that's insane to think of at the top of a bull run. Considering right now how deep in this current bear market we are, Ethereum is still currently around $175 billion. So is it plausible to see, $60 billion going into Elrond if, the next potential bull run as a total market could take us up to, 10 trillion plus? I don't think it's unreasonable. So yeah, I mean, $2,000 Elrond, it sounds insane right now. I honestly think it's possible.
Yeah, no, it does sound a bit crazy right now in this bear market, but the fact that we're currently looking, from a TA perspective of EGLD heading as low as a $20 to $30 range, that could be as much as 100x return on the next run. And in my opinion, that's very possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Said again, 100x sounds crazy. A lot of people are out there, talking about, diminished gains and returns. And, of course, it's all speculation. We don't know what the future is going to bring. But just look at what it did in the last run. So in the last run, Binance had a low of $6 before it went up to $542. So never say never again, right? I will be DCAing into 𝗕𝗚𝗚𝗓. I still have a micro position myself personally that I bought around $39 was the last time that I added to it last time out. But yeah, I am expecting us, to probably lose $30 eventually at some stage. Some people may think the bottom's in, and that, that's fair play to them. It's our opinion on this channel that we do expect lower lows across the board. But again, mentioned, if this is one that survives this bear market, I think it could do really well. I'm not saying I'm going to throw all my money at Elrond, but it's definitely one that I want to position in. Yeah,
no, for sure. Between $20 and $30, I think it's a fantastic accumulation zone and fantastic project. I'll definitely be buying.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap this one up there. That's our show on Elrond. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Hopefully we've got some of the Elrond fans out there, Elrond holders that have just joined us for the first time. Like I said, if you are watching or viewing for the first time, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate support. We've got loads of new content daily. Also, you know, come and join us in our Discord, links in the description below, and, you know, check out the Cheeky Crypto main channel as well. You know, amazing TA covered daily from Nick or on the wider crypto market. IK, have you got any final words?
No, thanks for all the support. Subscribe. Take care. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you all. Catch you in the next one.